Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Fecam's Unique Histology Review Series. This video is brought to you by the Academic and Editorial Boards of the Federation of Catholic Medical and Dental Students, Fecam's Unique Chapter. My name is Ugochukwu Victor. Please do not forget to like our videos and subscribe to our channel, as this encourages us to make more educational contents like this. So, today, we'll be looking at the histology of the large intestine. So the large intestine contains various parts: the appendix, the colon, the rectum, and then some parts of the anal canal also forms part of the large intestine. So we are going to start with the colon. So the colon, let's read the side notes. The colon can be identified with the presence of intestinal glands, the presence of Taenia coli. So the Taenia coli is the most striking thing about the slide of the colon. So the Taenia coli is groups of longitudinal muscles. So let's read this. The intestinal glands are found in the absorptive epithelia of the colon. Its outer longitudinal muscle layer is thickened into 3 bands called the Taenia coli. So the Taenia coli is actually the longitudinal muscle layer, but then it is thickened into 3 bands. So it doesn't cover all the areas of the colon. Instead, it is thickened at 3 different points. So this is the first one, this is the second thickening, this is the third thickening. So you should always look out for this. Anytime you see something like this, the first thing that should come to your mind is the colon. So the epithelium remains the simple columnar epithelium. Then the submucosa doesn't contain anything really. It's just a layer of connective tissue. And then the inner longitudinal, the inner circular muscle layer, and then the outer longitudinal muscle layer, which is now modified as the taenia. So those are the striking things about the colon. So the development of the colon is from the midgut. The function is absorption of water because of the type of epithelium you find there, which is simple columnar, and then the concentration of feces. The gland type is simple tubular gland. So the intestinal glands, which extends into the lamina propria, they are simple tubular glands. Then the pathologies are the colon cancer and the colitis. So the slide of the colon is quite easy to identify because you look out for those thickenings of muscle. So look at this. You can appreciate the epithelium, which is the simple columnar epithelium. And then this is the submucosa. Now this is the inner circular muscle layer. And then notice this thickening here. This thickening here. So this represents the taenia. So it gives the colon away. So you should always look out for that. The thickening of the outer longitudinal muscle layer. So here also you can appreciate the epithelium, the simple columnar. Here we can't really appreciate the Taenia coli here. Can't really appreciate much of it here. But this is the epithelium of the colon. Now look at this inner circular muscle layer, then the outer thickening. So this is not really helpful in identifying the colon because we are not really able to see the taenia. But then the mucosa will give it away because you can't find any villi here. So these are not finger-like projections. So they are like a kind of folds of the mucosa. So this one is not a finger-like projection. So this one is what you find in the colon. So this is the slide of the colon because this is not a finger-like projection. This is just a kind of fold of the mucosa. So this is the muscle layer, the submucosa, and this is an isolated lymphoid follicle. Just like I said, you can find this in all areas of the gastrointestinal tract. Okay, now the next one is the rectum. Let's read the side notes. The reasons for identifying the rectum is rectal folds of Morgagni and then the closely packed intestinal glands of Libacum. So the development of the rectum is from the hindgut. The functions of the rectum is temporary storage of feces, secretion of mucus. Then the length of the rectum is about 12 cm. Then the lookalike slide is the rectum. So the colon has tenia coli, which are 3 extra folds of muscle on fixed points on the colon. So we've seen that previously, the clumps of muscle, the bands of muscle that forms the tenia. But in the rectum, you will not find that. You will just find the regular structure of the gastrointestinal tract, which is the mucosa, the submucosa, the muscularis, which has an inner secula, and the outer longitudinal muscle layer. So the outer longitudinal muscle layer in the rectum is uniform and continuous, so it covers all the whole part of the rectum, unlike the one you see in the colon. So the mucosa of the rectum is folded into special structures called the rectal folds of Morgagni. Rectal folds of Morgagni, so they are mucosal folds. So you won't call this the esophagus because this is not stratified squamous epithelium. Can you appreciate that? So it's simple columnar epithelium and not the stratified squamous epithelium that you find in the esophagus. So notice these folds. They are the rectal folds of Morgagni. So they are mucosal foldings. So look at this as well. Look at the muscle layer here. You can't call this the colon because you can't really find the tenia. Now look at how smooth and continuous the muscle layer is. Now look at the mucosa. Simple columnar epithelium, though the rectal folds are not really prominent here, but this is not the colon because you can't find the tenia coli. So this is a classic slide of the rectum. And then you can also appreciate the intestinal glands and then the simple columnar epithelium here. Okay, so that's it about the rectum. Quite easy to identify. The rectal folds of Morgagni and then the absence of tenia coli. The presence of closely packed intestinal glands. So look at the intestinal glands here. Look at how closely packed they look. They are very much closely packed. Now the next part of the large intestine is the appendix. So let's read the side notes. So the vermiform appendix. The reasons for identifying the vermiform appendix is the narrow lumen, then the presence of lymphoid nodules in the submucosa. So the commonest position is retrocecal, and it has a mesentery called the mesoappendix. So one of the things that gives the appendix away is the narrow lumen, and then most importantly, the lymphoid follicles within the submucosa. So it looks like the ileum, but then why you can't call this the ileum is that you won't see the finger-like projections of villi. So you just see the epithelium, which is the simple columnar epithelium, and then in the submucosa, you will now find the lymphoid follicles. You can appreciate that. So it's very prominent here. Look at this. Remember, lymphoid follicles, they stain more than other structures. They stain deep purple because of the presence of the granules and then their nuclei. So this one too. So look at the mucosa. You can find the finger-like projections, and the epithelium is simple columnar epithelium. Look at this. Then it also has a similar muscle layer, the inner secular muscle layer and the outer longitudinal muscle layer, and then the serosa, because it is covered by the peritoneum. So look at this as well. So lymphoid follicles gives the appendix away. Look at the lumen, the lymphoid follicles, the submucosa. So there is no villi here, so you will not call it the ileum. So look at the closely packed lymphoid follicles. So one of the major functions, even though the functions of the appendix in humans is rudimentary, so these follicles can help in immune defense. So this can be a function in the small intestine. So look at this also. Look at this. Stains deeply purple, more than that of other structures. And we've explained the reason for that. So this is where we end for this lecture. Drop your comments and questions in the comment section. In the next lecture, we'll talk about the accessory organs of digestion. Thanks for watching.